Hi, what's up guys? Welcome to Young Family in our YouTube channel. Today is October 3rd, 2022. In today's video, we're going to learn how to propagate Coleus from stem cuttings. Meanwhile, we're going to find out which part of the stem cuttings will be the best part to grow roots. Stay tuned. Hi guys, check out right here. There's one Coleus plant in the ground. So basically, just recently, I planted this Coleus plant from the container into the ground. So actually, I propagated this Coleus plants using stem cuttings. I think it might be last year or early this year. Propagation of Coleus plants is very easy. So actually, just in my recent video, I want to show you the roots when I transplant the Coleus plants into the ground. You can see the roots pretty healthy, a lot of roots. On my YouTube channel, there are several videos specifically talking about Coleus plants. If you're interested, you can go back, search my YouTube channel with Coleus. You will find more videos about Coleus plants. Meanwhile, I'm going to put the link at the end of this video. You can easily click the link and watch later. Coleus is evergreen flowering plant. Most people grow Coleus for their beautiful colored leaves. Coleus should be pruned regularly to encourage more branching, so the Coleus plants can look like a more bush but not leggy. To be honest, after I propagated these Coleus plants, and even after I planted into the ground, I have never pruned these Coleus plants. So you can see this Coleus plants does not look like a more bushy, but very leggy. But fortunately, we have some long stems. So today we're going to cut off some long stems to propagate Coleus. So first, we're going to take 3 plastic cups. All these cups are clear, so it's pretty easy to monitor and track root development. Also, already labeled these 3 cups with top, middle, and bottom, because we're going to take 3 parts from Coleus stem cuttings. For today's experiment, I'm going to use used potting soil because Coleus is very easy to grow. You do not have to specifically prepare some potting mix. Any new or used, well-drained potting mix works well. Now let's take some stem cuttings. So basically, we're going to take 3 parts from each stem cuttings, such as like a bottom part, middle part, and the top part. So each part should contain at least 2 leaf loads. One leaf load is going to be inserted into the soil. The other leaf load should be above the soil for leaf growth. So we should take some stem cuttings, should be pretty long. So I just checked this Coleus plant. I found 2 stem cuttings might be better. One is this one. It's pretty long. The other one is this one. So basically, you can check out right here. For this stem, there's 1 leaf load right here. You can see some new leaf grows right here. So I don't want to cut below this leaf load. I want to cut right here. So this leaf load still live on this stem, so they still can grow some branches and leaves. So let me cut this one. Another one, I'm going to choose this one. This one is relatively long. So you can see here, 1 leaf load right here. There's another leaf load right here. So basically, I just want to leave at least one leaf load for this plant. So I'm going to cut right here. So guys, let's check out this stem cuttings. So basically, you can see here, this is 1 leaf load. This is another leaf load. So interload is pretty long because this stem is pretty leggy. So anyway, so I'm going to cut right here because this leaf load is going into the soil. So here I have to leave one leaf load for leaf growth, as I mentioned. So I'm going to cut right here. This is a bottom part, so I'm going to put right here. So here, there's one leaf load right here, and this is another leaf load. So I'm going to cut right here. This is for middle part. So this is for top part. Later, I'm going to remove some leaves. So this is another cutting. So same thing. I'm going to here check out leaf load, leaf load. So I'm going to cut right here. This is for bottom part. And here is just one leaf load. So I'm going to leave at least one leaf load above the soil. So I'm going to cut right here. This is the middle part. This is top part. So here, just to make sure, don't upside down. So make sure that here, I'm going to remove the leaf right here. So this is a little long, too long. So I'm going to cut right here. So the top part, this leaf load above the soil. So I'm going to just leave it because it's small leaves. And here, because this part is going to go to the soil, so I'm going to remove the leaf. And make sure everything is kind of like relative the same length below the leaf load. So but this part internode is too long. But anyway, so this is for bottom part. So I'm going to treat this one. So this is for middle part. You can see the leaf load is fine. The length is fine. So this leaf is kind of like not very healthy. So I'm going to just cut it. But this one, I just leave it. And the same thing, I'm going to cut a little bit right here. I'm going to remove the leaf. The top part, I'm going to keep it. Sorry, I just mess up. I just upside down. So basically, this is the bottom part. This is top part. I should remove the leaves right here. This is leaf load. It's going to the soil. So anyway, even though I removed some leaves, but it's fine. So I just put right here. So be careful. And this one is very easy. So I'm going to just remove some leaves. This part is going to the soil. And because leaf is pretty big, so I'm going to remove this pear leaf. I'm going to remove this leaf. I think it's fine. So now all the potting mix is ready and the stem cuttings is ready. Now let's insert the stem cuttings into the soil. So basically this is the bottom, already labeled right here bottom. So I'm going to use a chopstick, any stick, make a hole. Make sure the bottom leaf node into the soil. Just tap a little bit, press a little bit tight. So I'm going to put the label right here, the bottom. Okay, I'm going to do this one. make sure is middle part. Just one leaf load into the soil for each stem cuttings. So this is top part, top. Now I'm going to water all these stem cuttings just to make sure to water thoroughly. Now my Coleus stem cuttings are ready, so I'm going to put somewhere. So basically, you know, Coleus is a shade-loving plant. Especially for these stem cuttings, they don't have any roots. So I'm going to put all these stem cuttings in the shade. So basically, this spot is kind of like a heavy shade. So cannot receive any direct sunlight, just indirect bright sunlight. So I'm going to put right here. And another one right here. So just right here. So I'm going to wait a couple of weeks. I'm going to monitor and check the root development. So later we're going to come back if we can see any roots. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is November 2nd, 2022. It has been about 30 days after I set up Coleus propagation from cutting experiments. So today is the day we're going to check out the root development. Actually, in the past 1 month, I have been monitoring the root growth for all these Coleus stem cuttings. On October 17th, about 2 weeks after I set up experiment, I already saw some root growth. I took some pictures and shot some videos, and also I found something really interesting based on root growth. So before we go ahead to check out the root development, I want to point out 2 things. You can check out on the right side, there's a Coleus plants I once planted in the ground. So basically that is a modern Coleus plant. You can check out the color, it's beautiful, it's showing. But compared with cuttings, on the left side, you can see most of the leaves is kind of like a yellowish, light brown color. So basically, actually, several days ago, after I already found some root growth, I put all these 3 cups in the sun. So that means the sun can cause some color faded on the leaves. That's why Coleus is a shade-loving plant. So that's why I planted this Coleus plant in the shade. So you can compare the left side and the right side. The right side color is more beautiful. The second thing I want to mention, actually, on the left side, all these cuttings, stem cuttings, come from on the right side, modern Coleus plant. At that time, this Coleus plant is kind of laggy, but right now you can see it's kind of more bushy because I prune some stems. So that's why when you prune the stems, Coleus stems, so will make your Coleus plant look like more bushy. That's really good. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out this cup. So basically I labeled bottom. So there's each cup, I have 2 stems inside. So let's check out this one. So you can see some roots right here, the white roots. Close, yeah, right roots right here, right roots right here, and more roots right here. You can see a lot of roots. So, and some roots right here. So basically, you can see both stems from the bottom part, they can grow roots. So kind of this side, you can see this side has more roots. Basically, this side is more close. This is stem. You can check out both stem. You can find more leaves from this stem. So kind of more leaves can grow more roots. So anyway, so both stem has root growth. Now let's check out the second cup. All these stem cuttings are from the middle part. You can see the roots right here, and very long roots right here, and some roots right here, some roots right here. So basically, if you take a look at both stem cuttings, you will find more roots right here on this side, right on this side. So compared with this side, so actually all these roots kind of related with this stem cuttings. Basically, this stem cutting has more leaves compared with this one. You see one large leaf right here. Interesting. So let's go ahead and check out the last cup. So basically, you can see this cup is different from 2 other cups. So this cup, you can find 2 stem cuttings has more leaves. So let's check out the roots. You can see kind of have more roots than 2 other cups. So basically, this is kind of correlated with the top part. They have more leaves and big leaves. So if we check out the roots, so kind of this part, the roots has more roots than this side. So basically, you can see this part, the roots is correlated with this stem cutting. So they has kind of like a big leaves than this one. So interesting. So basically, today we already checked out 3 cups. All these stem cuttings are from different part of Coleus plant. Bottom part, middle part, and the top part. So let's summarize the conclusion. So basically, it doesn't matter from which part of the stem cuttings. The bottom part, the middle part, the top part, all the stem cuttings can grow roots. But relatively, the top part can grow better roots compared with middle part. And the middle part can grow better roots compared with bottom part. So actually, this is correlated with my Coleus plant. As you know, at the beginning, when I take some cuttings from my Coleus plant, so basically that time my Coleus plant is kind of like a more laggy. Most of leaves are on the top part, just very few leaves in the middle part and the bottom part. Bottom part kind of nothing. Even though you can check out right here, right now, you can see, still can see very little leaves and small leaves. Actually, these leaves I think is pretty new. They're just new growths. So the conclusion is, if you want to take some Coleus stem cuttings to propagate Coleus plants, you'd better take some stem cuttings from the top part. That part has more leaves and it can grow faster and big roots. Okay, the last thing I want to show you. At that day, on October 3rd, when I set up experiments, I also took some cuttings from this Coleus plant, and I just prepared some cuttings and put it in this container. So basically, you can see all these stem cuttings survive. Actually, this one is from flower spike. I think it's died. So all others, you see, survived. So basically, if you check out this container, you can find some roots. So, and you can see here the roots, and the roots and roots. So as you can see, propagation of Coleus plants from stem cuttings is pretty easy because this morning it rained. All the soil in the containers it is pretty wide and the soil it is pretty loose. So I'm not going to transplant all these stem cuttings into the ground. Maybe I'll wait a couple of days, then I'm going to transplant all these stem cuttings into the ground. So guys, if you like today's video, please give us a thumb up, like, share, leave comments down below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.